Radhika Nandagopal, and over the last 1 week, I've been traveling across Tamil Nadu to get a sense of the mood on the ground this election season. And over the next half hour, I'm going to be getting you some of the reports that I filed from different parts of Tamil Nadu. Let's start off with this report from Kanchipuram. Now, when you talk about the beautiful town of Kanchipuram, the first thing that comes to our minds is the hand-woven Kanchipuram sari, something that weavers have painstakingly learnt the skill over decades. And it's something that we all treasure, a hand-woven Kanchipuram sari. We've heard of the vocal for local drive, but is that really the case? Are weavers getting all that they need? I find out in this report.
Kanchipuram, the temple town just a couple of hours from Chennai, is home to a large weaver community. This beautiful town is known for its architecture, its wonderful temples as you can see, and also the Kanchipuram saris. Most people come down to this town either to see the temples or to pick up a handmade beautiful sari of their own. These are the artisans who skillfully create Kanchipuram saris using gold thread and colorful hues sourced from Karnataka. This is in Kanchipuram town, in a small village called Sevalamedu, where I've identified a weaver community. They've been doing this for decades and generations, hand-making beautiful silk saris for all of us and for our many, many occasions. So I'm going to visit one of these homes in this hamlet to understand the issues that weavers are facing and also how they so painstakingly make each of these saris. Let's go. We make our way into a tiny house, through narrow corridors to a small room. Here, a weaver is hard at work, turning thread to sari. It's not an easy job, and it takes years to master the craft. Over the drone of a weaving machine, we hear them talk about how the government has failed them.
கல்வி உதவித்தொகை கட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க, இயற்கை மரணம் கட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க, விபத்து மரணம் கட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. எங்களுக்கு எந்த விதமான கொடுத்துருந்ததே கட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. புதுசாக நாங்கள் சலுகை வந்து கேட்கல. கொடுத்த சலுகைகளை இந்த கூட்டுறவு சங்கம் மூலியமாகவும் தனியார் நெசவாளர்களுக்கும் எங்களுக்கு சுத்தமாக கட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க.
Like everybody else, the lockdown impacted these artisans too. They complained that when they had no source of income, they thought help would come from the government. But it did not.
எதுவும் கொடுக்கல.
காசு ஒன்றுமே கொடுக்கல.
எதுவுமே கொடுக்கல.
இது வரைக்கும் ஆட்சி என்னமோ பண்ணியிருக்காங்களா உங்களுக்கு?
எதுவுமே செய்யலையே. இந்த சொன்ன போல் அந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டலில் போய் பார்த்தோமா 5000 வரும். அது முன்னே நான் கூட வாங்கிக்கிறேன். இப்போ அதுவும் கேன்சல் ஆகிடுச்சு. அது இருந்தால் கூட எவ்வளோ மேலே இருக்கும். போய் இப்போ பார்த்து இது பண்ணுமா துட்டு வாங்கிக்கலாம் கவர்மெண்ட்டில்.
At another weaver's workplace, we meet Murugan. He says he's been doing this for the last 46 years. Murugan thinks that his is the last generation of weavers. The hand-woven Kanchipuram story ends here.
எங்கள் ஊர்லேயே 2000 பேர் நிற்கினாங்க, தொழில் செஞ்சாங்க. இதில் வருவாய் இல்லைன்னு சொல்லிட்டு தனியார் கம்பெனிக்கு போயிட்டாங்க, கொத்தனாருக்கு போயிட்டாங்க, ஆட்டோ ஓட்ட போயிட்டாங்க, பெயிண்ட் அடிக்க போய்க்கிறாங்க. எல்லாருமே தொழில் செஞ்சவங்க தான் குழந்தைங்க வந்து.
The weavers here feel the demand for Kanchipuram saris has gone down because their product is expensive, and more people are now choosing to buy the cheaper machine-made saris.
ஆனால் இந்த ஜிஎஸ்டி மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் எடுத்துட்டாங்கன்னா இப்போ ஒன்றுன்றதுல எல்லாத்துக்குமே ஜிஎஸ்டி போட்டு ரொம்ப க்ளோஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. இப்போ பாருங்கள், எங்களுக்கு சரியான முறையில் ப்ரொடெக்ஷன் இல்லை, தொழில் வந்து நெரிச்சி வரல. அதனால் இந்த கூலி ரொம்ப கம்மியாக இருக்குது இந்த ஜிஎஸ்டியால். அதை கொஞ்சம் சரி பண்ணாங்கன்னா கவர்மெண்ட்டு நல்லா இருக்கும்பா. அதுதான்.
While change is killing his craftsmanship, in his politics, Murugan for one wants to vote for change. He says he's fed up with both the AIADMK and the DMK.
நான் அமமுக தினகரன் குருக்கா.
ஏன் தினகரன் ஏன்?
தினகரன்னா இருக்கிற 2 கவர்மெண்ட்டுமே சரியில்லை, ஓயல்வாதிங்க. அதிமுக ஓயல்வாதி, திமுக ஓயல்வாதி.
More and more people are opting to stop their weaving business and choose to move into another sector, into another field. This perhaps is something we need to address to keep the culture, the tradition of Tamil Nadu alive and to ensure that this weaving art form continues in the beautiful town of Kanchipuram.
If you've ever been to the city of Chennai, there's one thing that will particularly stand out for you in the city, and really it's the mood across the state. That culture and tradition is embraced by the people of the state. So I also decided to explore this, and in a way the fact that the people of Tamil Nadu are so etched in their roots as far as their tradition and culture is concerned also explains their voting pattern in a certain way. Here's what I'm talking about.
Bharatanatyam, the beautiful dance form from Tamil Nadu, is loved and revered by Tamilians. On an early weekday morning in Chennai, these youngsters are hard at work. Their dancers have been doing this from when they were toddlers. Bharatanatyam is in their blood. If you're wondering what I'm doing at a Bharatanatyam center, it's because there's a very close link. And if you look at the love for Bharatanatyam in a state like Tamil Nadu, it explains the politics of the state and why they're so deeply entrenched in their traditions and in their culture, and perhaps explains why the Dravidian parties continue to be the top political choice for the people of Tamil Nadu. Even in a city like Chennai, there's a lot of pride in embracing culture and tradition. While they vote for Dravidian parties, they're also deeply religious.
People of Tamil Nadu have always been extremely devout, each in their own way, every class of society in their own particular way, but very mindful of Tyoharams, of festivals, of Utsavams. And even if you take other festivities in the interiors, you'll find there is an Utsavam on any day that you hit a city. There would be some Utsavam. Kolam Potu, the kolams are everywhere. It's not just a Mylapore tradition, not just Brahmanical, it's everywhere. And that's an expression of the people.
Chennai is also seeing more and more youth returning to Indian tradition, choosing to dedicate their lives to an art form like Bharatanatyam.
So I was born in Toronto. What drew me to Chennai was, I think it was the vast amount of knowledge that these senior artists had. And it was this yearning to understand the art deeply that I think brought me here.
Culture has been a part of our family since I grew up, but what has kept me going is the fact that every day is a new learning here, and every day it's a journey about yourself. So this art gives you that kind of an internal journey where you're kind of, you discover yourself every day in an absolutely new frame every single time.
But with tradition being urbanized, the biggest concern for artists is how the arts has become politicized, freedom of expression curtailed, and more debates on what can and cannot be done.
I've been chairperson of the censor board, so I know a lot about that problem of interference by the government, if you like, interference by groups of people who feel that this is not good for my, sensibilities.
Freedom of expression is an issue that artists in Chennai are most definitely concerned about, and an issue that has also become a big poll plank in this election season. With video journalist Shivamurthy, Akshita Nandagopal for India Today.
I'm currently in Madurai and I've been traveling around the city to understand which way Madurai is going to go. Interestingly, Madurai is known for its temples, but this is a temple that I visited which is unlike any other because they're worshipping politicians. They're worshipping former chief ministers Jayalalitha and MGR.
Shri Lakshmi Shri Mahalakshmi Kshira Sagar Kanyaka Uttishta Hari Samprite Bhaktanam
Mandirs, masjids, churches, gurudwaras, dotting the countryside and across urban centres, places of worship in India are varied and various, dedicated to myriad gods of different religions. However, in Madurai district of Tamil Nadu, there's a temple that's certainly one of a kind. Because in this place of worship, the god inside used to be a politician. The district of Madurai has always been an AIADMK stronghold, and there have always been very, very strong sentiments among the locals when you talk about former Chief Minister Jayalalitha or Dr. MGR, which is why you also see behind me, interestingly, a temple dedicated to Amma as well as the Purachi Talaivar Dr. MGR. Jayalalitha or Amma to her supporters, no one is surprised that a temple has been built in the memory of the 6th-time Chief Minister. Like at any other Hindu temple, devotees here too are required to remove their shoes before they can enter its hallowed portals. Being built by the current Revenue Minister R.B. Udaikumar and inaugurated by the incumbent Chief Minister EPS and Deputy CM OPS, this under-construction temple has a dedicated priest and prayers are offered daily to the late Jayalalitha and her mentor MGR. The man who built this kind of a temple, Mr. R.B. Udaikumar, Minister with the Tamil Nadu government, is also with us. Why did you feel the need, sir, to build this kind of a temple?
இன்றைக்கு அரசியலிலே எத்தனையோ தலைவர்கள் இருந்தாலும் கூட புரட்சி தலைவி அம்மா அவர்கள் எங்களை போன்ற சாமானியர்களை மிக உயர்ந்த பதவியிலே உட்கார வைத்து எங்கள் மீது நம்பிக்கை வைத்து எங்களுக்கு மக்கள் பணியாற்றுகிற அந்த வாய்ப்பை அவர்கள் பெற்றுக் கொடுத்தார்கள். அதற்கு நன்றி கடன் செலுத்துகிற வகையில் அவருடைய புகழ் அழியாத புகழாக இந்த மண் உள்ளவரை, இந்த வான் உள்ளவரை, இந்த உலகம் உள்ளவரை அந்த தெய்வத்தாயினுடைய புகழ் அழியாத புகழாக இருக்க வேண்டும் என்கின்ற அந்த எண்ணத்தின் அடிப்படையில் தான் வாழுகிற போது மட்டும் அவர்கள் தெய்வம் அல்ல, அவர்கள் எம்மை மண்ணை விட்டு மறைந்தாலும்.
Inside the temple, there are not only bronze statues of Jayalalitha and MGR, but the temple has pictures of the current AIADMK Tamil Nadu cabinet, along with those of Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah. Tamil Nadu politics is like no other in the country. Only in a state like Tamil Nadu do you see politicians being worshipped. We've told you about how Jayalalitha, Dr. MGR were like demigods and demigoddess to the people. Here in Madurai, they are gods, and that's why you see this kind of a temple being constructed. And it's only in a state like Tamil Nadu that a politician is worshipped like this. But remember that this is an election without any of these leaders. This is an election without a mass leader. So what kind of an effect will that have? And the kind of worshipping that you're seeing of these leaders, will it translate to votes for the AIADMK remains the big question. With video journalist Shivamurthy, this is Akshita Nandagopal reporting from Madurai in Tamil Nadu for India Today.
I'm slipping into a short break. We'll be right back with lots more special reports from the ground in Tamil Nadu. Stay with us. Welcome back. Well, the city of Madurai is known for its nightlife. The food stalls come alive, buzzing with flavor, locals, tourists, all coming together at these stalls. So I visited one very famous local food stall to understand what Madurai cuisine is all about, and I had some local company.
So I've had a very long day of shoots, of roaming around Madurai, and then I stumbled upon this place. Look at the kind of parathas that they have on display here. When I saw these coin parathas and I saw the omelets, I decided to have a bit of food. And I decided that I'd get some company from some local people who tell us perhaps which is the best places to eat from. Joining me this evening is the Madurai Central MLA, Mr. Palanivel Tyagarajan. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. I'm sure, I was just saying, I've had such a busy day. I'm sure you've had a busier day than me, campaigning all day. But I had reached out to you earlier, and you told me that there's one aspect of Madurai. There's one aspect of Madurai that I should explore, the nightlife, the street food.
Yeah. Madurai in Tamil we call it Tunga Nagaram, the city that never sleeps.
No, because when you talk about nightlife, what comes to our mind usually, at least from being in Chennai, is bars and pubs. Now, when you spoke of nightlife, I wasn't expecting this spread.
Yeah, I think, nightlife can vary between the legal and the illegal. I don't think historically there were things like bars and pubs. I'm sure there's always been some form of alcohol and some form of other kinds of nightlife, if you will. But for us, we mean you can eat really interesting and good food almost any time of the night.
So, let's dig in, because it's lovely, it's piping hot food. Is this a popular hangout for you? Every day after campaigning, do you come here, sit down for dinner?
Unfortunately, I don't have that much luxury, but I was first introduced to this place because I used to be a student for 2 years at a school very near here.
When you talk about the history of this place, 100 years old, I hear some of the biggest leaders Tamil Nadu scene have actually come here and eaten where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah. So, Aringer Anna, Kalaignar Karunanidhi. If you see across the street, there's a statue of a man called Muthupillai.
The first mayor?
The big mayor of Madurai, the legendary mayor of Madurai. So, of course, as a kid, I didn't know all this history.
What made you come back to your roots, come back to Madurai, decide to enter politics, take your father's steps,
I had done enough things in life that I felt I could devote the rest of my life to public service. And so I came back to follow in my ancestors' footsteps.
Yeah, it's the same curry, no?
Yeah, it's the same curry.
But the mutton
how they
is,
cook the mutton
it's
and
great.
how they select it.
When you talk about Madurai, it's largely seen as an AIADMK stronghold. You think that's going to change this time?
Between 16 and 19, the ADMK coalition lost 1 crore votes almost. We got 38 lakhs. TTV Dinakaran split about 24 lakhs. Makkal Needhi Mayam took about 20 lakhs. Naam Tamilar took about 15 lakhs, and the rest split in different ways. My analysis, my interviews, my kind of ground level, I'm the head of the IT wing, we do this across the state, is that the bulk of them were women. And the bulk of them felt that without Jayalalitha and with these guys violating and going against every principle of Jayalalitha. Jayalalitha said, Ladiya, Modiya. She said, as long as I live, the ADMK will never have a relationship with the BJP. So people left not because only of the lack of charisma that Jayalalitha brought, but also because the lack of values that Jayalalitha brought was no longer evident in Mr. Edappadi or his crew. If you ask me, I believe there is a bigger anti-incumbency wave in Tamil Nadu today than there was in 19.
Is this an ultimate referendum really on Stalin and his performance?
I would go the other way. Not only are we going to win this big, but we are going to win it so big that I don't think we should get overconfident based on the win. This win is mostly about them being bad. How we govern for the next 5 years will say whether it's about us in the next election, right?
I think that's a very, very good point you made. You're someone, as you said, who's a pessimist, keeps all risks in mind, yet you're predicting a sweep. So I'm going to come to you post May 2nd.
Please do that.
And we'll discuss, we'll number crunch, so that we get all the data and see which voter went where.
And that's all we have time for in this special broadcast. This is Chennai Singapeni Akshita Nandagopal signing off. And remember to stay tuned to India Today for more such reports from me, from Tamil Nadu. Thank you for watching.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.